that were in those drafts and participated in 100 big league games last season averaged 247, 6 homers, 39 RBIs, and only 8 stolen bases. So they've had to go outside of the organization. You look at this infield, you got first, second, and third outside the organization.
Davis, short with Griffin.
Davis, Gibson, and Short.
That is amazing,
isn't it?
Of course, Sid Fernandez now with the New York Mets, and Johnny Franco has done nothing but save, and save some more since coming over to Cincinnati. 1-2 the count. Little high, even up 2-2.
Yeah, if they'd had Franco when the Titanic went down, a lot more coming out of there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. First. And Luke towards Harris, makes the catch, and that'll do it. Again, the Dodgers strand the batter, but at the end of 2, Reds lead them 1-0. On we go to the 3rd inning. We've played to complete. The Reds lead the Dodgers 1-0. It'll be 8-9-1. Lenny Harris, followed by Scott Scudder, and then Chris Sabo. We'll see how Harris will react to the pitching of Tim Leary. Not only Leary's delivery, but also going into that wall over there in the last half inning.
Well, if you needed a wake-up call, I'm sure that was it. Lenny hit the home run off Hershiser the other day. The one thing Lenny has to do is close that front shoulder and get those hands back. When he does, he can go after it. But when he's got his hands forward, he drops them and sort of carries them and then just sort of muscles the ball and pushes the bat.
Hamilton drawn in a bit at 3rd, and here comes the pitch from Leary. Shows the bunt. Strike 1. Lenny overall at 211, 1 home run the other night, and 7 RBIs.
That was right after Socia had told Hamilton be alive for the bunt. Hamilton moves in, and Harris still tries to push it down there.
Couldn't make up his mind much on that one either. 0-2. Lenny Harris going to get the opportunity to play a lot of baseball over the next few weeks with Ron Oster on the disabled list. In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Leary going to the breaking ball quite a bit in today's game. Showed the fastball a few times. Benziger might have changed his mind about what his velocity was when he hit it out of here. And then he went back fastball to Larkin. He ripped it into left field. And Davis also hit a shot right at short that Larkin was doubled up on.
1-2. And 1 out. Talking about Leary, until late in the season when Oral Hershiser started his tremendous run of the scoreless innings, Leary was as solid as any Dodger pitcher and really as solid as any starter in the league. But then ironically enough, Johnny, when the playoffs and World Series came around, he was used very little.
It really was. It was a bit of a surprise. Of course, Lasorda felt like he had to go with the people that were most important to him, and Leary sort of got stuck away.
Scudder lays it down. Hamilton the bare hand and got him. Nice play by Jeff Hamilton.
Well, you got to make it bare. If you're going to make it barehanded, that really gives you a chance. And it takes a sure-handed third baseman to do this. He bunted just a little bit hard and out towards the middle of the field where Hamilton could have the angle and take the time. Grass slowed it down a little bit, and Hamilton's throw just about handcuffed Murray.
So here's Sabo. He started the game by popping up to third base. Leary checks in with Socia, and here it comes. Fouled off. We talked to Sabo about some of his injury problems, that he hyperextended the knee the other night and how he feels today.
Well, I hyperextended my left knee sliding into Socia the other night, and it doesn't feel that good, but you know, I want to play and I don't want nobody to take my job, so I'm in there, and it feels a lot better today, and I'll be able to run. I went from first to third yesterday,
Well, on that play, he went from first to third. More times than not, it was a play which he would have scored on. That was a double by, or a single rather, by Benzinger in the gap.
Well, it really was, and I think Chris felt like actually the ball hit to the wall. Chris felt like he wasn't going to score and just held up. And of course, a play at the plate. They got a forced play at the plate because of Sabo's speed as well. I think that had a lot to do with it. Kind of lucky for Sabo. I don't think he wanted to run into Sosha down there again. Of course, then he ran down to first right after that play the next time at bat and jammed it into the bag.
Fouled off, counted 2-2. Reds lead 1-0. We're in the top half of the third inning. 2 are gone. The count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Chris Sabo.
It'd be hard to figure out who hasn't been hurt so far.
No kidding.
I mean, we've had Bo with the legs, Reed with the food poisoning. Benzinger's been all right. Harris just ran into the wall. Larkin's had some problems. Sabo now.
And again, straight up. This in foul ground. Sosha with the shade and makes the catch. Second 1-2-3 inning in a row for Tim Leary. We played 2.5. The Reds lead the Dodgers 1-0. The Reds 1 and the Dodgers 0. Bottom half of the third inning. It'll be pitcher Tim Leary, followed by the top of the order, Kirk Gibson, then Willie Randolph.
Tim Leary.
Leary does not have a hit this season. However, he is a good hitting pitcher. Batted .269 last season and drove in 9 runs. Swing and a miss.
Hard to believe he's 0 for 22. As good a hitter as Tim is.
The 0-1. And Scudder right dead on the outside corner, 0-2. The Reds 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. The Dodgers nothing across the board. And now it's 1-2. Leary in his career, a .278 batter with 15 RBIs and a home run. 1-2 pitch. Little high and away, 2-2. Reds back-to-back shutouts, the first time since Tom Browning and Jay Tibbs blanked the Pirates in Cincinnati, August 29th and 30th of 1985. O'Neill coming in and makes a catch. 1 out.
Talk about the last time they shut out 3 in a row. Got to go back to 1963 in June. 21st, 22nd, 23rd. A lot of old-time fans remember Jim Maloney, one of the great pitchers in Reds history. John Saturis and Bob Perkey when they blanked Houston.
Wouldn't be bad to equal that mark today.
Sure, going through with a road trip. Let's tie it. Hershiser.
1 up, 1 down in the Dodger third. Here's Kirk Gibson. He struck out swinging to lead things off in the bottom half of the first. Inside ball 1 as Sabo really pulled in down the third base side. Dodgers hoping for anything to get going offensively these days. And the 1-0 pitch. Fouled off, 1-1. Kirk Gibson, in a scene right out of the Natural a year ago, a pinch hitter, hobbled up to the plate, worked the count full on the Oakland A's relief ace Dennis Eckersley, and hit one of the most dramatic home runs in World Series history. 1-1. 2-1. And again, Scudder working in tight on Gibson. Count goes to 3-1.
Well, that's the way you try to pitch Kirk. He's got really good at extending his arms. The ball's out over the plate. He's so quick with those hands and wrists, and when you off-speed him as well, he waits back so well.
Three and 1 pitch. And there's ball 4. Scudder's third walk. And we're in the third inning. But no Dodger has yet to reach scoring position against him. that says something about the absence of Steve Sachs right there.
Well, it does, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Gibson really try to create something. You talked about something created for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Randolph will have a shot at the hole if Gibson tries to run. He'll be running. At some point, he's got to run. I mean, it's just something that this ball club has not had, is any kind of thing, any kind of offense going for him. They attempted one steal on Friday night, and they were thrown out. Gibson's the kind of guy we saw in Cincinnati opening day take off, and he might not just try stealing second. If he gets that, he may go farther.
Well, Scudder has yet to throw Randolph a pitch. He had a fly ball to Paul O'Neill in the first. Five-time All-Star, who at 34 is trying to bounce back from an injury-plagued 88. Only played in 110 games last season. 1 ball and no strikes. Randolph looks down at Tommy Lasorda at third and now turns his sights to first base, where Amalfitano is giving the signs.
Well, Randolph a little different for the right-handed hitter. All they have to do is just stand there and look straight away now. They don't have to turn and step too far out of the batter's box. Gibson had a quick flinch.
That is low, ball 2. Reds defense straight away for Randolph. And Scudder looking for the second out of the inning. Gibson is aboard at first with 1 down. Reds lead at 1-0. We're in the third. Two and 1. Well, maybe here would be the pitch you think something might be going on.
Yeah, Randolph taking all the way. He's 9th in the league in hits with 64. Looking down at Amalfitano for a long time, and well, this is just wide open. It's just almost automatic that this is going to be a run play.
A good patient hitter, contact hitter at the plate in Randolph. 2 balls, 1 strike, and Scudder keeping his eye on Gibson over at first. Reds are 5-3 against the Dodgers this season. They were but 7-11 a year ago, so they are off to a much better start than 1988. Two-one. There goes Gibson. And he hits it towards the gap. Here comes Davis. Won't get there. Gibson on his way to third. And Randolph moves on to second. And Davis is hobbling a bit out in center field. Looked like he slipped as that ball hit in front of him and tried to make the quick turn to go get it.
Well, you'll get a look at it. A high fastball. And because Gibson was running, Randolph was swinging a backhand, and now he tries to stop. Gibson will come to third. He sees Lasorda with the arms up, and of course the strong arm by Eric Davis gets it back, and Eric leaning over in center field. And they'll walk Murray. Give Randolph a double, I would have to say. There's no error up there. Tough play, and when you try to short hop or backhand a play similar to that, we'll just give it a double, and if it changes, it won't matter to you. The main thing that you care about is whether the Dodgers score in this inning. And we look at the 4th base on ball in today's game by Scott Scudder, and the baseball balls hurt him again this inning. He got away with it first 2 innings. Now he's got himself in trouble.
Right fielder.
Well, the bases are loaded as Murray makes his way down to first. And now Bo Diaz will come out and have a quick word with Scott Scudder. Lasorda with the batter, Mike Davis.
Yeah, Lasorda came down the line, put his arm around Davis to tell him something, whacked him on the rear end, and goes back to where Gibson stands at third. Randolph at second, and Eddie Murray at third. Reds leading 1-0, but in a little bit of trouble here, and looking for what helped Rio the other night, Tommy.
That double play ball. Davis with decent speed at the plate. Let's see what happens. He is but a 167 batter with runners in scoring position this season. But he may deliver this this time it drops for a base hit. 1-run score. Here comes Randolph, and the Dodgers lead 2-1.
The one thing the youngster is learning that you do not give free passes out. Made a good pitch here. Hit it right off of the end of the bat. A dying squirrel right over Barry Larkin's head. Davis comes into field, and too late to get Randolph, who follows Gibson to the plate. Still men in scoring position.
Murray moves on to second. Davis at first. The Dodgers own the lead. 2-1. Here's Mike Scioscia. He had a fly ball to Paul O'Neill an inning ago. And thinking something might be going on. Can't understand that. Eddie Murray certainly no threat to run here.
Well, that had to be a sign from the dugout, I would think. Felt like they may have picked something up from Lasorda giving the signs.
So it's 1 ball and no strikes to Scioscia. 2-on. Here it comes. Laced down the right field line, but foul. Scioscia ahead of that one. And now he checks down with Amalfitano at first. Eddie Murray stands at second base. Mike Davis at first. 1 out in the inning. The Dodgers lead at 2-1. And the scoreless inning streak is over here in Los Angeles. Finally, Lasorda must be thinking. 1-1. And again they pitch out. And that one was almost thrown right by Bo Diaz.
Well, that's because Diaz was coming out, and Scudder was thinking that it should have been a fastball on the outside corner. Lucky for Diaz and for Scudder that the ball was on the outside part of the plate. You better know something when you're going to pitch out. I mean, you're putting the guy and the kid in the hole. He's walked 4 already, 1 intentionally. But you really put a lot of pressure on a pitch to keep coming from behind against a guy like Scioscia, who doesn't strike out very often.
Well, now he's in even more of a jam when you consider the count goes to 3-1. Yeah. 2 of them on pitch outs.
And they better start burning the lines to the bullpen.
Scott Scudder trying to make it through this Dodger third. They put 2 across so far, threatening to do some more.
Now you might want to run. 3-1. Scioscia contact hitter.
There they go. Swing and a miss. Throw down to third, and it gets away from Sabo. They had Murray from here to there.
Well, Tommy, you can pat him all you want. Great play, baloney. What happens when you have an injury, especially to a leg, and you get over in position and you really can't plant yourself. Good off-speed pitch here by Scudder, all the time in the world. And unable to plant himself, and the Dodgers in a good position here in the bottom of the second inning with 2 runs in.
And fair ball. Oh, foul ball. Gary Crawford made the call, much to the displeasure of Dodger fans, but nevertheless it's foul, and the count is full at 3-2.
Well, Jerry Crawford didn't leave too much mind. He put it all out right here. Watch him up in the top corner. He's gonna, there it is. A diving Benziger. Here's a pleading Amalfitano, and Scioscia decided to plead as well, but Crawford saw that the ball did not cross any part of the bag. Fortunately for the Reds, or it would be 4-1.
Murray at third, Davis at second, 1 out. The count 3 balls and 2 strikes to Scioscia. Reds infield pulled in. Chopper towards Benzinger. And no one will advance. So a big out there for Scudder. He still has 1 more to go.
Third baseman, Jeff Hamilton.
Boy, Scudder got out of a major jam getting Scioscia when you're behind 3-1 in the count.
No error up there, Tommy.
I couldn't understand that myself. He was out by 5 steps.
Well, do you anticipate? somebody. I mean, if the catcher throws it away, they give the in-air. But nothing matters right now except the man at the plate, and who's been hot for this ball club.
Hamilton reached via the base on balls in the second. Murray still at third, Davis at second. The Dodgers have taken their first lead of the series, 2-1. A lot of room down that right field line.
He's going to be trying to pull that high fastball. He's going to guess fastball on the first pitch. Hopes it's out over the plate.
A little too high for Hamilton's liking. Ball one. Hamilton, a .251 batter, has hit 6 home runs this season and driven in 21. He's already equaled his home run total from a year ago. And there's ball 2.
Tim Burts is warming in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds.
2 balls, no strikes. Murray at third, Davis at second. And that is low, ball 3. Well, should Hamilton reach, Chris Gwynn is on deck. Green light here or no?
Been their hottest hitter, but I doubt it.
Nope. 3-1.
And that doesn't make sense to me. Unless he's proven over time that he doesn't hit 3-0. I mean, he had patience to get to 3-0. Why not give him a chance? He might get the fastball, 2 runs quickly.
Well, he's on his way to first. Ball 4 at his Scudder's 5th walk, 1 intentionally.
Left fielder, Chris Gwynn.
Third in the inning, only 2 hits. Scotty Breeden will come out to talk to him, and Scott could get out of major trouble right here, retiring Gwynn. Only 2 runs in, and when you start thinking about 3 base on balls, 2 base hits, you have to feel fortunate to get out of a situation like that.
Gwynn, a left-handed batter, is the conference atop the mound here at Dodger Stadium between Breeden, Bo Diaz, now Chris Sabo, and Scott Scudder.
Gwynn was hitting well for this ball club before they went on the road trip, but he slid, when he slid into second base, strained a little bit of a hamstring. I think 346 at home, only 167 on the road, and that's what happened during that road trip, was he did not fare very well. Big kid, 6'2", about 205. They think he's got a little more pop than his brother. They would like to hope that he could hit close to what his brother does. Brother hitting at 350 plus.
Murray at third, Davis at second, Jeff Hamilton at first. 2 are in, 2 are out. First pitch to Chris Gwynn, and fouled off into the seat, strike 1.
Well, that's what Scudder has to do, and I think he's been trying to work a little bit too much to the corner. He struck out Gibson to open the game with a good live fastball. He seems to be trying to pinpoint. That time he went right at Gwynn to try to get ahead. Scotty must have told him that.
Straight up. Scudder just might get out of the jam. Larkin, shading the eyes, makes the catch. So the Dodgers come up with 2, but it could have been worse. 2-1 at the end of 3. 2-1 Los Angeles as we move to the top of the 4th inning. Scott Scudder walked 3 in that last half inning, and it could have been a lot worse than what it actually was.
Come on in here. This is the Badger, folks. You remember Jim Merritt, the 20-game winner? Badge, nice to see her. Jim, I should call Jim Merritt, of course, everybody knows. I hope they know. What are you doing these days?
Well, I sell printing out here in Los Angeles, and I was in here at the ball game with my son, and had to drop by and say hi anyway.
Well, we're glad you did. And, of course, you are a regular visitor out here. You can't get enough of the Reds, can you?
Well, no. Once they're in your system, you can't let go.
Are you coming back for the old-timers game?
Well, I haven't heard anything yet, but I'd be delighted to come.
You hear that, Marge? Get on there, Cal Libby.
Get him back.
Yeah, good to see you, Jimmy.
Good seeing you, Johnny.
Thanks, buddy.
Always good.
Thanks. Jim Merritt, good to see the old guys you play with. And, of course, Jim very familiar with a lot of the coaching staff here. Right now, the Reds behind 1 run, and there's the guy at the plate that gave the Reds the 1.
That he did. Benzinger a home run back in the first inning to deep right center field. And a home run right now would even this ball game as the Dodgers lead it 2-1. 1-0 pitch. Low and inside now 2-0. That home run today tied a 5-game hitting streak and swinging a good bat as of late, 2-1. And finally, for the first time, able to see pitchers a second time around.
Yeah, that helps. And of course, the Reds have to be a little more patient with Leary. They've been really chasing some down breaking balls. That's a pretty good off-speed pitch right there.
1 away.
Time to look at some National League scores. Some of them not so good if you're hoping that the Astros were in trouble.
Shortstop.
Check up on the National
Barry
League.
Larkin.
St. Louis and Chicago. Well, the Cubbies are finally on the board. They got shut out twice by St. Louis, 1-0, 6-0. They lead 4-3 in the 7th. New York 6, Pittsburgh 1. A real tough defeat for New York yesterday. Randy Myers got lit up by Ray Quinones. Montreal 7, Philadelphia 2. The Expos are making a run at the top. 8-4 now in the 5th inning. Houston was leading 8-1 in that game. Maybe Atlanta could come from behind. And no scorer in San Francisco. And San Diego and San Francisco are going after it.
We'll bring you up to date on all the American League scores in the bottom half of the 4th. 0-1 to Larkin. And Murray is there for back-to-back putouts in the inning. Want to remind you, if you want the great taste of Bud Light, you have to make the best call of the night. Ask for a Bud Light, because everything else is just a light. 2 up, 2 down in the Reds' 4th. Here's Eric Davis. He hit one hard right at shortstop Alfredo Griffin in the 1st, and it turned into an inning-ending double play. Fouled off, strike 1.
You know, it takes a toll on a pitching staff. Everybody wonders what happens to the Dodgers. It's tough on a pitching staff to repeat when they feel like they're not going to get runs. They have to pitch, and that's a lot of pressure, mentally and physically, to continually make pitches. When I say make pitches, is the fact that you have to make them, and you have to make them in good position, good location.
1-1 coming. And now it's 1-2. Davis thought about it, stayed off, and it caught the inside corner. And he fouls it off. So the count will remain right there at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Not only is Eric 5th in the National League with those 39 RBIs, he is tied for 8th with 9 home runs. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So she gives Leary the green light. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. The third 1-2-3 inning in a row for Tim Leary. He and the Dodgers lead at 2-1. Sunny skies, beautiful day for baseball here in Los
I see you
Angeles.
left your passes, Tom.
Now. There's who I gave mine to, JB, right there.
Something you want to tell us?
No, not particularly.
Well, a little crowd cheer as the Lakers lead the distance 64-60 with 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. And you can see why there's a few empty seats here at Dodger Stadium.
The Alfredo Griffin followed by Tim Leary, then Kirk Gibson. LA leading 2-1. And he starts it off with a looper towards center field, base hit. Griffin thought about going to second momentarily, but said, nah, that's Eric Davis out there. I might be in trouble.
Pitcher, Tim Leary.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, is hustle. Take a look at the American League scores. Boston and New York. The Yankees win at 4-2. After Stadium. Seattle wins again 6-3 over Cleveland. Cleveland was making a little bit of a run at Baltimore, but they're losers today. Toronto shuts out Detroit 4-0. I guess the wind wasn't blowing up there. 5-2 Minnesota over Chicago. Milwaukee defeats Baltimore 3-1. Everything's tightening up, and tonight it's Rangers and Oakland. Kansas City 5, California 3. Playing in Kansas City. George Brett back. Happy to see my old buddy back. Got a couple of hits and RBIs last night. And Larry at the plate takes a high pitch. He was around to sacrifice.
Quinones now in at third base for Chris Sabo. So the Reds powers that be finally deciding that Sabo needs a break. There he gets the job done as Alfredo Griffin moves on to second base. Give him a sacrifice. 3 unassisted.
Center fielder.
Well, it had to happen. I mean, Chris wanted to play badly as anybody can play. You heard him talk about it. I don't think he has to worry about somebody taking his position. But actually a pop-up in the first inning by Murray he could not get to. And Murray walked. And then the stolen base attempt, and I guess it is a stolen base. 2 of them. One for Murray and one for Davis because of the missed catch down at third.
Gibson 0 for 1, but he walked and scored in that third inning when Mike Davis delivered the 2-run single to center field. He hits a drive into left center. Davis on his horse, and he makes the catch. Griffin tags, goes to third, and he will be held right there. Davis had to go a long way to get that one, and he caught it dead on the run.
Hit well into the gap. It kept slicing. Eric has it measured now, catches it up a little bit. He can turn it on whenever he wants to. Knows he has to get the ball back into the infield because Alfredo was going in a hurry. Ball right in front of Tommy Lasorda. He holds Griffin right there, and now it's going to take a 2-out base hit, and they're going to appeal at second base to see if he left early.
They'll do just that. The throwback. And no, he did not. So says second base umpire Country Joe West. Never hurts to check.
Country Joe needs some of that country gravy and biscuits.
Alfredo Griffin at third base. 2 gone in the inning for Willie Randolph. There is strike 1. One pitch, and it goes for a base hit and an RBI as Griffin scores. It's 3-1 LA.
First baseman, Eddie Murray.
Going with a fastball, and again he throws Randolph a high fastball. Randolph hit that high fastball into center field for a double. Ball got by Eric Davis. This time he gets another high fastball up and in and pulls it into the hole. Larkin made a great effort at catching it, but it would have gone for naught.
So Randolph at first, 2 down, and LA now leads at 3-1. Here's Eddie Murray. Should be the 3rd out of the inning, and it is. But Los Angeles comes up with 1 run on a couple of base hits, 1 left, and at the end of 4 complete, LA 3, Cincinnati 1. The Cincinnati Reds and Wheaties team up to present Johnny Bench commemorative poster night on Friday, August 18th when the Reds meet the Cardinals. This poster captures some of the Hall of Famer's greatest moments from his glory days with the Big Red Machine to hitting that last memorable home run. All fans in attendance will receive this poster and have the opportunity in witnessing a special presentation to Johnny between games. Remember, Johnny Bench commemorative poster night, Friday, August 18th, thanks to Wheaties. Well, that'll be a big night at Riverfront. We look forward to that. And the Dodgers lead Cincinnati 3-1 as we move on to the top of the 5th. Paul O'Neill takes low, ball 1. He'll be followed by Ken Griffey, then Bo Diaz.
Time to get on the board. Reds more than likely would like to get some runs back, only trailing by 2.
Base hit, and that will break Tim Leary's streak of retiring the last 10 as O'Neill reaches with a base hit. Cincinnati's third of the ball game.
Yeah, maybe a little action in the bullpen. Nobody out there right now, but Scudder scheduled up 5th in the order. He's thrown a lot of pitches. He's given up 4 hits and he's walked 5.
Here's a guy who's had a pretty good series, Kenny Griffey. Take a look at those numbers. Very impressive. Ball 1. It's interesting we talk about Scudder. The fact that Jack Armstrong also had some control problems when he came up and made a couple of starts this year.
Nothing unusual for a young pitcher to come up here and face guys he's always heard about. And every one of them is more magnified because of the newspapers and because of his memory of some of their performances. So they really try to get out of their character a little bit. That's why you almost have to turn it over to the catcher and say, I want you to throw this and I want you to throw it for strikes.
Griffey fooled by the pitch. 1-1. Kenny came into the game hitting .282 and has dropped a couple of points since then out at .278. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Split-fingered fastball working for Leary. May have taken off some of his velocity, but it's been effective today for him.
One, two. And again, he held off the check down to third, and Mark Hirschbeck says no, he did not go. 2-2 with O'Neill at first, nobody out.
Giants and the Padres still scoreless in the 5th. However, the Cards have come back and come back big.
Yes, he went. And Griffey down on strikes. That is one away in the inning. He looked like he wasn't sure about any of those pitches.
Tell you, he says he's picking the ball up well and he's able to attack it. He is not picking that ball up well today. There's a lot of glare here during the daytime. There's that split-fingered fastball down and in. Almost broke back inside from the inside down towards the plate.
And the bottom fell out of that one.
Well, he hasn't made a mistake upstairs with it. He's been really keeping it down.
Low, ball 1 to Bo Diaz. He hit a fly ball to end the second inning to straightaway center field. And has had a pretty good career against Los Angeles Dodger pitching. Dodgers, of course, noted for an outstanding staff year in and year out. No different this year. 1-0 pitch. Trouble. And that will do it. Reds get a base hit, but nothing across. After 4.5, it's the Dodgers 3 and the Reds 1. Los Angeles 3, Cincinnati 1, and a fine inning-ending double play turned in by the LA defense. Hamilton made the scoop, and check out Willie Randolph. Turns it as well as anybody in the business. A short hop to Eddie Murray, but he made the play easily, and just like that, the inning was over. Long-time New York Yankee, now with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he has played some fine baseball for Tom Lasorda. He's hit and played defense. It'll be Mike Davis, and he delivered the big blow back in that 2-run third inning with a single to score Kirk Gibson and then Willie Randolph. Bases were loaded, stepped up there and jumped on Scudder's first pitch for a single. Checks his swing, a little low, ball 1. Scudder hoping for a better time of it. He gave up 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. And now it's 2-0. You missed it the other night. We were talking about some fine seasons Davis had while with the Oakland A's over in the American League before becoming an LA Dodger. As the count goes to 3-0. In '85, he had 24 home runs, drove in 82 runs. In that was '84 rather. In '85, he had 19 home runs, 55 RBIs, and then with Oakland in '87, 22 home runs and 72 RBIs. As he is a leadoff walk.
Catcher.
But then only had 2 home runs and 17 knocked in while with Los Angeles last season.
Well, with 6 walks, he can't go too much longer with Scott. He's still throwing hard, but at the same time, you've got to have somebody ready in the bullpen. You can't afford to get much farther down in this game.
Socha for 2, hit a fly ball to O'Neill in right and grounded out to Benzinger. Davis 2 for 5 in stolen base attempts this season. Up high, ball 1, and to start now the 5th inning, Scudder has missed on 5 straight pitches. Pete wondering whether or not he ought to make a move. He and pitching coach Scott Breeden talking it over in the Cincinnati dugout. And now it's 6 in a row. 2-0 the count.
He hasn't been given too much license out there either as far as strike zone. He's been around the plate. Scotty Breeden taking a long walk. 6 balls to open this inning. Slow pace. Would make you wonder. Well, there's a lot of people out there hoping that the Reds have to make a pitching change.
Amen to that.
We went through the complete game by Rio. People hoping their name would be drawn for the Valvoline Cincinnati Reds pitching change challenge. Well, you're going to get it. Scott Breeden points down to the bullpen. Jerry Crawford will have to run down out into right field. And the day done for Scott Scudder. Only give up 4 hits, but those 6 base on balls.
Well, Scudder leaves and Burtzis comes on. And we will step out for a commercial break. The Dodgers lead at 3-1. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. 1 on and nobody out.
Bottom of the 5th here as the Dodgers lead at 3-1. And the leadoff man on first, and time for the Valvoline Cincinnati Reds pitching change challenge. And James Baird from Speedway, Indiana, signed up at Nationwide at Dunbar, West Virginia. Wow.
Traveled a ways.
Boy, that's a real speedy move by James Baird. Well, James, you have Tim Burtzis on, and if he comes on to strike out Mike Socha, look at Burtzis' record, 2-0, but over the last 15 1/3 innings, Tim has only allowed 1 run and 6 hits. In the last 9 relief outings, he's struck out 11. You will win a Sony Watchman if Tim is able to strike out Mike Socha, and your name goes into the hopper, and you will be eligible to win a 1989 Toyota 4x4 truck, and that drawing goes July the 5th.
2 balls, no strikes to Socha as Mike Davis leads at first, and Burtzis is keeping a watch on him. Socha 0 for 2, and he's looking down at first base for the signs from Amalfitano. 2-0 the count. Here it comes. And there is strike 1, and Burtzis had Davis fooled over at first base.
James Baird came in a little disadvantaged. Pitcher comes in when it's 2-0. Davis looks towards Amalfitano for signs.
Burtzis does not want Davis on the go at 2 balls and 1 strike, although Socha, a good contact hitter, may have something going here with a 3-1 lead. There he goes, and he loops it down the left field line. Foul ball. So the Dodgers are trying to make some things happen offensively today. They've finally gotten on the scoreboard, but they want some more.
The Dodds. You said that the other night. Keep on. Where'd you get the Dodds?
As opposed to the Pods or the Padres, you know. Well,
The Dodgers?
Astros is short for Astronomicals. Mets is short for Metropolitans.
Astronomicals?
That's their name. Their official name. The Houston Astronomicals.
Who, by your father?
No.
They were Colt 45s, and then they went to Astros.
Not Astronomicals?
Yeah, that might be the WWF. The Dodgers?
No, the Pods. There he goes, and lifted in the right field. O'Neill coming hard, and he makes the catch. Second out of the inning. First out of the inning, rather.
Cincinnati Rods?
Oh, no.
Brewers?
He couldn't do that. He couldn't do that. The Yanks for the Yankees?
Yankees. The Doddies?
No, that doesn't quite fit.
Okay.
We'll try anything. At least one, see what happens. Go from there.
I'll talk to Lasorda. Sorry, James. Well, your name's on the hopper anyway. James Baird does not get the watchman. They'd give him a lot of them away.
Hamilton fouls it off, strike one. Burtz has retired the first batter he faced, and Mike Scioscia came in with a 2-0 count, and Davis remains over at first base.
I know where you got it. You got it from your fraternity brothers that you've been
Hanging around
with out here.
No balls and a strike to Hamilton. Davis leads at first and checks his swing a little bit low, 1-1. Davis again that time fooled a bit by Burtz's delivery to the plate. He was leaning back towards first.
Ah, but he said, yes, I've got it. He said it like that. Here's Hamilton. Hamilton looked down towards Lasorda at third, who's giving the signs to Amalfitano. He didn't know for sure if he had it, so he checks Amalfitano. It's kind of tough communication going on.
1-1. And outside, 2 balls and a strike.
It was half a pitch out. That actually was a pitch out. So far, they have not guessed right with Tommy Lasorda and his pitch outs.
Bottom of the 5th, Los Angeles leading Cincinnati 3-1. 2 balls and a strike to Jeff Hamilton. Davis leads at first, and now Burtzis will throw that way towards Todd Benzinger. Scioscia had the opportunity back in the 3rd with the bases loaded, or rather with runners at 2nd and 3rd to drive in a run, but he grounded out to Benzinger at first. And again, Burtzis watching Davis at first base. The Dodgers had something on with a 2-1 pitch with Scioscia at the plate. Let's see what they do with Hamilton. Now 3-1. Tommy Helms watching how things develop here in the 5th. 3 balls and a strike. Davis going. Strike 3 called, and he is safe with a stolen base. Strike 2 called.
Well, Tommy Lasorda able to do things with runners today because he has them. He hasn't been able to do it in the first part of the series. Breaking ball down and in gave Bo really no opportunity. And of course, Burtzis showed Mike Davis enough moves at first that he was able to read him and get a good jump.
3-2 pitch. Davis at second. Hamilton at the plate. And he fouls it off to the seats. Still 3-2. Hamilton will be followed by left fielder Chris Gwynn. Hamilton has walked both times at the plate. First base is open right now. A runner at second, 3-2 the count. O'Neill coming from right and makes the catch. Davis will stay right there at second base. 2 gone in the inning. So Tim Burtzis, in relief of Scott Scudder, has retired the first 2 he has faced.
Left fielder, Chris Gwynn.
Tim Burtzis trying to keep the Dodgers at bay here in the 5th. They had a leadoff walk to Mike Davis, and then Scudder was taken out after going 2 balls and no strikes to Scioscia. Burtzis came in, got him to hit a fly ball to right, did the same thing to Hamilton, and here's Chris Gwynn. Strike 1 call. Reds got on the board first when a pitch came from Tim Leary to Todd Benzinger, and he hit one out of here for a 1-run lead, but the Dodgers had 2 in the 3rd thanks to a Mike Davis 2-run single, 1 more in the 4th. 1-1. Gwynn is 0 for 2. He ended the inning with the bases loaded in the 3rd by popping out to Barry Larkin. 1-1. Now 2-1. The Dodgers have but 4 base hits. However, they have turned that into 3 runs. The Reds, meanwhile, 3 base hits, only 1 run. Two-one delivery. And that's the inning. So a nice job by Burtzis as he comes on for Scudder. We've played 5 full, and the Dodgers lead it 3-1. Tom Brenneman along with Johnny Bench at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The home team leads at 3-1, and Tim Leary has been awfully tough since that home run given up to Todd Benzinger back in the 1st inning. He has retired 12 of the last 13 Reds to come to the plate.
He really has done a good job. That split-fingered fastball has been working so effectively. He's had Reds out front and really confused. Only shows the fastball, like this fastball right here.
Little low to Lenny Harris. He will be followed by the pitcher spot. And then we'll go to the top of the order with Luis Quinones. Skeeter Barnes on the on-deck circle right now. As Harris slaps it towards left, in comes Gwynn, and 1 away.
Attention, please, for the Reds.
So here's Cincinnati native Skeeter Barnes, graduate of Woodward High School. Got the recall a few days ago when Ron Oster went on the disabled list.
Well, you're talking about a guy who never gives up. It's Skeeter.
Well, he starts him low, ball 1. Well, we made mention yesterday that Jose Gonzalez was the mileage leader, frequent flyer leader. Barnes certainly the same in the Cincinnati Reds organization. Always has that suitcase packed and ready to go.
Skeeter's always been productive. He gets his hands back, gets him in a hitting position. Got some years on him, but he's been effective throughout just because of that. Very versatile young man. I guess not so young anymore.
Swing and a miss. 2-1.
2-0, and the Reds turn him loose to try to get something started here. Maybe an extra base hit to get him in scoring position. Might not think that's a good move, but Leary has not walked the man yet. So go for that fastball.
Well, he's one pitch away from being walked. Barnes at 32 years old. He has been to the major league 6 times. You figure twice this season, 4 previous times. He was also with Montreal for a brief stint and the St. Louis Cardinals. But for the most part, a long time in the Cincinnati Reds organization. 3-1 pitch. Fouled it off. Now it's full. Three-two pitch. And incoming Gwynn from left field and gets there. Looked like he misjudged that ball briefly, and Alfredo Griffin had to fill him in as to where it was.
Well, he misjudged Harris's ball a little bit and then had to come on. This time he said, I didn't pick it up. A lot of white shirts in the upper deck here. And of course the glare of that makes it difficult. There was a ball hit into right field over second base that Paul O'Neill, I don't think, ever saw until he saw Harris running after it.
Nobody on, 2 gone in the Red sixth, and here for the first time today is Luis Quiñones. He came in for Chris Sabo back in the 4th inning.
Unfortunately for Harris, he went after ball 4, being overly aggressive.
1-0 pitch. Fouled into the Reds dugout. 1 ball and 1 strike. Quiñones does not have a hit from the left side of the plate. He is a guy that will be playing on a regular basis against left-handed pitching. He is 0 for 3 this season, takes it in the dirt, 2-1. Larry checking in with Scioscia. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Way inside, and it goes to 3-1 for the second batter in a row. Tim Leary, 11 and 17 last season with a very impressive 291 earned run average. Struck out 180 batters in 228 innings. And fly ball right field. Davis drifting towards the line and foul ground and makes the catch. Leary knocks him down in order. And after 5.5 at Dodger Stadium, it's LA 3 and Cincinnati 1.
Bottom of the 6th, Dodgers leading 3-1, and a new pitcher on the mound.
Number 37.
Norm Charlton, record of 2-0 and an inflated now ERA, you might say, but a lot of guys like to have a 3.28, but he's been beat up pretty good.
Last couple of outings, Norman has not been very successful after getting off to a wonderful start for Pete Rose's team. He'll face Alfredo Griffin, then Tim Leary, and Kirk Gibson. Ball 1 high. Scudder went 4, allowed 4 hits, but his downfall, 6 base on balls, led to 3 runs, all of them earned. Burtz has followed up with an inning of hitless relief pitching, and now here's Charlton. Two and 1, and you may note at the top in your insights, JB, this is a rested Cincinnati bullpen, and at the first sign of trouble they got out of there, although they may have let Scudder a little bit too long. One out.
Well, you can always say that, but you know, you got to give a kid a chance. He really had pitched himself out of a jam in the 3rd inning when it could have been a lot worse. The 4th inning, he gives up a run on a single, a sacrifice, a fly ball, and then a base hit by Randolph. Put him out there 1 more inning. I think they wanted to get down to where he could use the pinch hitter and try to get him through an inning as the bottom part of the order was coming up for him. Did not work, but Burtz just came on to do a nice job.
1 out. Here's the pitcher, Leary. Low ball 1. Leary hit a fly ball to Paul O'Neill in the 3rd, but then His sacrifice in the fourth advanced Griffin to second base, and 2 batters later, Willie Randolph drove him in with a single. Count even 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Talked about Leary's hitting a little bit earlier, batting .269 last year and drove in 9 runs. He drove in one of those runs in a pinch hitting role. But he goes down on strikes here, 2 gone in the inning.
Center fielder, Kirk Gibson.
Bottom of the 6th inning, 2 are gone, and Los Angeles leads Cincinnati 3-1 the score. Gibson scored a run after getting walked in the 3rd. Charlton bringing it. Ball 1. Reds have won 4 in a row, 5 out of their last 6, 9 of their last 11. There are 11 games over 500 for the first time this season. 1-1. But through all that, they have actually lost a game to the Houston Astros, who with a win today and a Cincinnati loss would move into first place by themselves in the National League West. Did he go? No, he did not. 2-1.
You want to stick around because the Reds have come from behind 19 times in their 35 victories.
Two-one pitch. Harris on to Benzinger, and a 1-2-3 inning for left-hander Norm Charlton. It's time for the bats to get going. After 6, 3-1 LA. Some Reds fans hoping for some offense here in the top half of the 7th inning. They've got the guys up there they want. However, they trail 3-1. It'll be Todd Benzinger, Barry Larkin, and Eric Davis. 2, 3, and 4. Benzinger has accounted for the only Cincinnati run of the ball game when he hit a home run back in the 1st inning. His 4th of the year and 29th run batted in. Strike 1 call. Leary has knocked down 15 of the last 16 batters to come to the plate. 1-1. Benzinger at 244. Swing and a miss. Leary had him full right there, 1-2. Mentioned the Reds do indeed come back, come from behind all season long, but Leary a formidable task. Outside, 2-2. He is really in a groove right now.
He's in command of that split-fingered fastball. That has really got the Reds off stride. The Reds have only stranded 1. Well, they have not even stranded anybody, have they?
Nope.
Double play wiped that one out, so nobody's been left on while the Dodgers have left 7.
Benzinger, a base hit to center field, and that's a way to get it going here in the 7th. O'Neill last reached base in the 5th inning when he led off with a single. However, a couple of batters later, Diaz grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. Here's Larkin. Barry 1 for 2, singled and stole a base in the 1st, but then was doubled up when Eric Davis hit a line drive right at Alfredo Griffin, who touched the bag, and that was that.
I wonder if Larkin will go up there looking for something off speed. Hit the first pitch thrown to him for a fastball. There's the off-speed pitch. Thought about laying it down to get Eric up at the plate with a couple of men on.
Hamilton inching in and now stepping back at third. He is even up with the bag.
And he just moved over a step towards the bag. DeSorto or Malfitano or Russell moving him over. That's nice. That leaves an awfully big hole. You know, when you square around a bunt like that, first of all, you bring the third baseman in. Next, you get him towards the line, and now you really have a huge hole over there. They're playing at double play depth, so that cuts the angle down in the range of the shortstop. Randolph in your screen. Double play depth, and Murray holds him on.
And it's interesting, interesting to note too, Johnny, what you mentioned about Hamilton. That's exactly where Larkin hit his single back in the first inning between Hamilton and Griffin.
Well, you don't want an extra base hit.
And this will get through, so the Reds trying to get moving here in the seventh. Back-to-back singles from Benzinger and Larkin, and here comes the big guy, Davis. Dodger bullpen now active.
Couple of Dodger pitchers, a left-hander, Ricky Horton, and a right-hander. Number 57, John Wedlin. So Wedlin and Ricky Horton. Horton, the left-hander.
2 on, nobody out. Benzinger at second with a single. Larkin at first with another single. Larkin now 2 for 3 on the day, likewise for Benzinger. Davis 0 for 2, lined out and struck out. Reds trailing 3-1. Fouled it off, strike 1 to him. Leary has started 11 games this season and has completed 2 of them.
Well, here's where you would love to have a guy at second base that can relay the signs, because it would be wonderful to know when that split-fingered fastball is coming, or the fastball. It sort of shortened it down to splitter as far as that split-fingered fastball is concerned, sort of like Dodds, I guess.
In that company.
Thank you.
0-1 to Davis. Benzinger leading at second. Larkin at first. Nobody out. Back up the middle. This could be trouble. And a double play. Benzinger moves on to third. Davis down 4-3.
Right fielder, Paul O'Neill.
Well, perfect for the Dodgers, and Tim Leary, high chopper. Time for the angle, and there's Randolph. No chance for Larkin to get down there in the double play. The third one of the game for the Dodgers. And Ron Peranowski now will go out for just a brief talk with Leary, maybe something about Paul O'Neill and what he wants him to do, and or just to encourage him that that is fine. That's what you're trying to do. You've got ground balls. Got a little line drive into center, but you got 2 ground balls back through the middle. Just keep going with what you're going with.
Todd Benzinger at third. 2 gone in the inning just like that, and it now rests on Paul O'Neill's shoulders as to whether Cincinnati can get a run home. Up high and tight. Did he go? Yes, says third base umpire Mark Hirschbeck. Strike 1.
That's a tough call for an umpire. First of all, you start the swing. Paul had committed himself. Leary, first time up in the strike zone with that fastball. You try to check it, then you try to duck out of the way.
Off the end of the bat, and it will drop foul. So Leary ahead. No balls and 2 strikes to O'Neill, with Benzinger at third, and the Reds hoping to get a run in to cut the deficit to 1.
You almost know now what Peranowski went out to tell Leary. Throw him fastballs up. I think they still remember the curveball that Paul hit off of Oral Hershiser to beat him here last year.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Went away that time, 1 and 2.
See if we can cheat here a little bit. No, we've lost our signs. Fastball. Kind of a twirl. Is that going to be a sinker? No, upstairs again.
So after being ahead 0-2, Leary now goes even up, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, got away with the first pitch up. Kind of fortunate in that respect. Fastball. No, shakes him off. He's going with the splitter again.
2-2 pitch. And again misses outside, so the count has gone full with Benzinger at third and 2 gone in the inning.
Doesn't want to put the tying run on, but would he rather face O'Neill or Griffey and challenge him with that fastball? No, he's going back to the splitter.
Here it comes. Ball 4. So the inning stays alive for Griffey, who has had a tough time gauging Tim Leary in his 2 trips so far today. He grounded to second in the second and then struck out swinging in the 5th on all 3 strikes. Quite frankly, JVD, it looked like it wasn't sure where the pitch was coming.
That splitter is very tough going down and in. Against O'Neill, he tried to go away because of the home run power. Let's see if he'll go right back to his success pitch with the splitter down and in. Goes away and gets a strike.
So Benzinger is at third. Across the diamond at first is Paul O'Neill.
Just a little base hit. Boy, just a 1-run difference makes a heck of a lot of change in the way managers do.
Swing and a miss. Well, Leary was ahead 0-2 to O'Neill. He walked him, but now he's ahead 0-2 to Griffey.
There, it looks like he has the ability to make that splitter go both ways, and it's the pressure you put on which side of the ball, whichever finger you use. He may go away or he could go down and in this time with it. He's got Griffey on the strikeout, got him out front with a splitter that's broken down and in a little bit. It's going to be the splitter again.
0-2 pitch. Fly ball center field. Gibson waiting, and that's the inning. 2 base hits, but the Reds can't get him home. Middle of the 7th, still 3-1 Los Angeles. Willie Randolph followed by Eddie Murray and Mike Davis against Norm Charlton in his 2nd full inning of work. What he hopes will be his 2nd full inning of work. Ball high.
No, I don't know what it is. It's certainly John really tough on that strike zone today. Really being exact behind the plate. I would not call him a pitcher's umpire today. That can affect a young pitcher. There's John Sherry.
1-1. Now 2 balls and 1 strike to the LA second baseman. Randolph has had a good day. 2 for 3 and has driven in a run. O'Neill towards the line and makes the catch. 1 out.
First baseman, Eddie Murray.
And the Reds will see a good one tomorrow night. League leader Mike Morgan, ERA. And Morgan with a record of 4-4 only, with a 1.47 ERA, goes against Rick Mailer. Mailer 8-5 with a 3.07 ERA. Browning has started 15 games, as has Jackson, and Mailer's next start will be his 15th. Rijo 1 behind them at 13.
Strike 1 to Murray. And you talk about a guy like Morgan, of course, so much is made of the fact about defense and pitching winning championships. Boy, you'd have a tough time making some of the Dodger pitchers believe that, particularly a Mike Morgan and Tim Leary, who's also at 500 with a 3.16 ERA. Morgan, as you mentioned, Hershiser.
Hershiser's 7-5 record, 2.61. Series is the only other pitcher above 500, 3-2.
Dodgers first in the league in team pitching with an ERA of 2.77. Yet they are 7 games out of first place. You do have to do a little bit of hitting.
Give me just that good, decent pitching and the league leading hitting. Murray goes down on the strikeouts and home run power to go with it. Second strikeout for Charlton in his 1 2/3 inning.
Well, that would explain the Reds pretty well, and that's why they are where they are. They are 8th in pitching, but a respectable 3.39 ERA. That has improved, of course, over the last couple of nights.
Yeah, I'd like to have either the top 2, top 3 hitting, top in fielding, and then the pitchers can work it out from there.
That's interesting. Reds are 5th in the league in fielding, the Dodgers 4th, and they have not been noted as a good fielding team through the years.
Gonzalez.
Jose batting for Mike Davis here in the 7th. Started yesterday's ball game, and he is behind no balls and 2 strikes. He went 0 for 3 with a walk. Oh, 2 pitch. Low and inside, 1-2. You're looking ahead towards the Reds' 8th. It'll be Bo Diaz, Lenny Harris, and then the pitcher spot. Even up 2-2. Gonzalez against Charlton. 2-2 delivery. And now it is full. Gonzalez hitless in his last 6 at-bats total, but he is on base right here for the 6th time in his last 9 games.
Catcher, Mike Scioscia.
First walk given up by Charlton, and that brings up catcher Mike Scioscia. Dodgers lead the Reds 3-1. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gonzalez aboard with a walk.
And good speed. Stole 44 at Albuquerque last year. 3 while up with the Dodgers.
In tight, ball 1.
Gonzalez saw action in Los Angeles in 85, 86, 87, and 88. Each year starting out on the minor league level, AA, and then the last 3 years, and again this year at AAA in Albuquerque. Only 25 years of age.
There he goes. Throw coming from Diaz, and he will be in with a stolen base. It gets away from Larkin, but Harris is there to scoop it up and not allow Gonzalez to move on to third.
4 stolen bases on the day for the Dodgers. 1 a gift, 2 a gift really, when the throw was mishandled by Chris Sabo. Good jump. He read Charlton, and Charlton looked very surprised that Bo was throwing past him.
Well, the Dodgers with a runner in scoring position for Mike Scioscia, who is 0 for 3 on the day. 1 ball, 1 strike. And they play Scioscia a shade towards left. Good play by Larkin. He's got to let it go, and he gets him at first base. So that'll do it in the inning. They leave 1 on base, and after 7 full, 3-1 Los Angeles.
Top of the 8th, Dodger Stadium. Dodgers leading 3-1. A fine sterling play by Barry Larkin, and Barry has had his problems at times here at Dodger Stadium. Ball gets past Gonzalez. Little 360 throw to Benzinger in time, and we talked to Barry about his play at Dodger Stadium.
Jose Gonzalez.
As far as the jinx goes, you know, I had a couple good ball games here, and I'm not too worried about, you know, the defense anymore. You know, I had a couple bad ball games last year with the hurt finger and all, but, you know, that's all over with. Had a couple good games this road trip, and looking forward to good things here in Los Angeles now.
The defense is fine, and so is the hitting. Thank you. 2 more hits today.
Came into the ball game leading the National League in hitting, and as you mentioned, has done nothing to hurt that. Bo Diaz followed by Lenny Harris, and then a pinch hitter here in the inning. And there is strike 1 call. Bo 0 for 2. Get a fly ball to Gibson back in the 2nd and grounded into an inning 5-4-3 double play in the 5th. Reds threatened in the 7th against Leary, but couldn't get it done. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Back in that 7th inning, Benzinger and Larkin started with back-to-back singles, but Davis grounded into a 4-3 double play. O'Neill walked, and then Griffey ended the inning by flying to Gibson in center. Have a couple of changes defensively for the Dodgers. John Shelby, or rather Gibson, has moved out into left field. Check those for you here in just a moment or two as the count goes to 2-2. There's John Shelby now in the ball game in center field, and Gibson moves from center to left.
And Gonzalez stays in the game at right.
So Chris Gwynn has left the ball game, and so has Mike Davis. Towards Griffin. Hamilton cuts it off and gets him at first. One gone.
Second baseman, Lenny Harris.
Lenny Harris 0 for 2. And Joel Youngblood has now moved into the on-deck circle to hit for the pitcher Norm Charlton. One and one. One pitch, and it's away from Lenny. 2 balls and a strike as Hamilton creeps up a little bit over at third. And in just a moment or two, we'll catch you up to date on all the National League scores, and then in the bottom half of the 8th, we'll do it in the American League. 2-1 pitch. Now it's 3-1.
Well, he has not got that fastball over consistently. Almost got a set on the off-speed pitches. Let's take a look at the National League. The Mets win. The Metropolitans win 6-1 over the Piratskis. Yeah. Ball 4. Second walk in 2 innings for Tim Leary. Montreal 7, Philadelphia 2. A final. Houston 10, Atlanta 5.
For the pitcher, Carlson.
Nothing. Still scoreless. A good pitching duel going on again between San Francisco and San Diego. A score was up there for a second with Chicago and St. Louis, and Chicago was ahead 10-7, I believe, after trailing early in that game, and they came back in a big way. Cardinals making a run. Everybody trying to get in first place in both divisions. Joel on the year 262.
Been a rather odd day for Youngblood, and a scary day for Youngblood. Earlier this morning, he was pumping gas in a car here in the Los Angeles area and was robbed.
At the gas station?
One guy pulled out a knife on him. Another guy had what looked to be a gun. He didn't see the gun, although it was tucked inside of his sweater. He wasn't going to take any chances, and they robbed him.
Did they leave on foot or license or?
So they pulled up behind him in the gasoline pump, and he found it rather odd. They pulled up next to him, then backed in behind him, came up to him and asked him for directions. He had said, well, there's the highway you're looking for. I'm not sure how you get on it. And the guy just said, this is a robbery. Let me have what you've got.
Well, early part of a 14-day road trip, carrying heavy.
Youngblood said he is just thankful that nothing bad happened. There goes Harris. And Socia will not even have a play as he had to dig it out of the dirt.
Ball in the dirt, backhanded nicely by Socia, but Harris with a big jump from the high leg kick of Leary in scoring position for stolen base for Lenny. He's showing no ill effects of running into that auxiliary scoreboard earlier in the game.
Well, now Mike Socia going to come out and have a word with his starting right-hander. And there is more activity down in the Dodger bullpen. The same duo which was up a little while ago, Wetland and Ricky Horton, or now Jay Howe rather, and left-hander Ricky Horton. 1-1 to Youngblood, and strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We go back to the top of the order next with Quinones.
Well, not a good time to start giving that low pitch, which we haven't seen much of during the game. Joel kind of surprised as well. He's been a spectator in the dugout, and of course he's got a bird's eye view of the height of those pitches. He thought sure that ball had ducked out of the strike zone.
And now Leary bluffs the throw back, and Harris moves back to second base. 1 out in the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harris at second. Youngblood at the plate. Leary to the belt, and here comes the 1-2 pitch. Got a piece, or did he? No, he did not. That is strike 3, and that's the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, he was hoping that John McSherry might agree with him on the foul tip, but it was not there. Only the 3rd strikeout of the game, and it comes at a good time for Tim Leary.
So 2 gone. Leary for the 2nd inning in a row trying to work out of a jam, although this not near as drastic as the last. Swing and a miss by Quinones. Reds trying to battle back, trailing the Dodgers 3-1. Won 4 in a row, but it'll take some doing to make it 5. The 0-1. Strike 2 called. No balls, 2 strikes. Harris at second. Leary bringing it. 1-2.
Well, a great day here in Los Angeles for the teams. Although the Dodgers are leading, the Lakers lose. The Detroit Pistons, they go up 3-0.
2-2.
Glad you joined us. It's 3-1. If you happen to be watching that game. Dodgers scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th after Benziger had homered in the 1st to give the Reds the lead. We're in the 8th inning, a 2-2 count on Luis Quinones with 2 outs and Harris at second.
Leary, the Los Angeles starter, still out there. 2-2. Right side, Murray is there, and he beats Quinones to the bag to end the inning. The Reds again with a runner in scoring position, but cannot get him home. It's 3-1 in the middle of the 8th. Hey fans, the official USA Today All-Star ballot is available at all Reds home games, the gift shop at the Hyatt, or the Tuesday and Wednesday sports section of the USA Today. When you vote, you can enter the All-Star Pick-a-Pair Trivia Contest and win a pair of Chevrolets. So vote for your favorite Reds players early and often, and check for results in USA Today, the official sponsor of Major League Baseball All-Star Balloting. Rob Dibble now on for the Reds. Officer
for 28 strikeouts in his last 17 outings. Fastball fouled down the line by Hamilton. Over a longer period, he struck out 50 and 30 in the 3rd innings, covering 22 relief appearances. This is while allowing 16 hits and 4 runs for a 1.19 ERA. He's pitched, he has 61 strikeouts, and we mentioned that he's in the top 10 in the league in strikeouts. And he's also leads the National League in games pitched with 31.
He'll be facing Jeff Hamilton, followed by John Shelby, and then Alfredo Griffin. Larkin, no sweat, 1 away.
Center fielder, John Shelby.
Rob really bounced back well in that San Francisco series. He, of course, served up the home run in the 2nd game of that doubleheader to Kevin Mitchell that proved to be the game winner. However, he came back 2 days later. Came in a situation with the bases loaded, got out of it. They're the same again in the 8th. And the Reds went on to win both of those ball games to win 3 of 5 from the Giants at Riverfront. Ball 1. John Shelby batting for the first time in the game. He came in defensively in the top half of the 8th. He is at 164. 1-1. Shelby's woes a big reason why the Dodgers may be looking for another outfielder. And as we mentioned, the leadoff hitter. Had a good season for him last year, but has fallen on hard times in '89.
Hard times, 164.
Strikeout pitcher against a guy who strikes out a lot at the plate, Shelby. Once every 4 at-bats a season ago. That was most in the National League. Here it comes. Forget about it.
I don't think they like Shelby here either. As he hears the boos cascade down on him as he goes back to the dugout. He's averaging on that again, Tommy. 1 in every 4. Very frustrating.
Two up, 2 down in the Dodger 8th, and here is Alfredo Griffin. 1 for 3, scored a run back in the 4th. Dibble getting it up there, ball 1.
And Franklin Stubbs comes to the on-deck circle, so the Reds may see Jay Howell. Might be a nice sight. Have not solved Tim Leary yet.
2-0 to Griffin. Of course, Dibble's last trip out here was one noteworthy. He ended up having to get together with National League President Bill White. A couple of pitches up and in on Willie Randolph, and Rob said after the game he was misquoted by a Los Angeles writer, and those were the comments that got him in trouble with the commissioner's office, or the president's office rather. Said he never said those comments.
In that context.
Yes.
And he was actually given a reduction in that fine because of that. Bill White listened to him. Take a look now at the American League scores. 4-2 Boston, the winner over loser to New York in Yankee Stadium. After they've been scoring a lot of runs, Seattle wins 6-3 over Cleveland, and pitching staff looking pretty good now. Toronto 4, Detroit nothing. Scored 11 yesterday. We're scoreless today. Minnesota 5, Chicago 2. Milwaukee 3, Baltimore 1, a final. Kansas City wins and closes on California 5-3. And Oakland will play at Texas later tonight.
Well, Tommy Lasorda has decided to go ahead and make a move here in the bottom half of the 8th. Franklin Stubbs pitch hitting for starter Tim Leary. So Jay Howell will come on in the bottom, or rather the top of the 9th, and try and save this one for Leary. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Surprised by that move?
Well, Leary's throwing a lot of pitches. A lot of pitches. Howell hasn't had much of a chance to work. He wants his closer in there. I'll go Griffin. No? Thought with a 2-strike count he might be running, and I think he read Dibble's quick move to home and may have seen Diaz because he never really got set to run. You don't want to give away a pinch hitter at the plate, but at the same time with the 2-strike counts you might as well try it. Try to get a runner in position.
Strike 3 call. Dibble a couple of strikeouts in the inning, and the Reds need to do it offensively. We go to the 9th. Los Angeles 3, Cincinnati 1. It's Biggs Gym Bag Day on Saturday, June 24th, when the Reds meet the Dodgers at 2:15. The first 15,000 fans in attendance, 18 and over, will receive a free canvas gym bag. Tickets for this and all other special dates are available at the stadium ticket office, gift shop, and all Ticketmaster outlets. Remember Gym Bag Day, Saturday, June 24th, thanks to Biggs.
Well, it's Jay Howell on for the Dodgers to try to hold a 3-1 lead over the Reds in the top of the 9th. Jay Howell, record of 2-3 with a 1.06. Well, they got it 0-2 here. They've had it confusing here on some of these stat sheets the way they've been doing it. They write it on one page and not on the other. 34 innings, 28 hits. He has 11 saves. That leads the Dodgers staff. The Dodgers have 14 total saves. Pena has a couple, and Tim Cruz has one. So Jay Howell, the former Red player, comes on, Tommy. And you really don't want to be behind the Dodgers after 8 innings and trailing.
No, you do not. Los Angeles has won 20 of 22 games when they lead after 8 innings of play. And of course, that's exactly the situation they're in right here with their main man out on the hill. The Reds have some pretty good sticks coming up. Benzinger, Larkin, and Davis. The same crew that got things started back in the 7th inning when they threatened back-to-back singles from Benzinger and then Larkin. However, Davis hit into a 4-3 double play. A couple of batters later, Griffey hit a fly ball to center to end the threat. See what happens here against Howe. Strike one call.
You're going to see a lot of those fastballs, but also a big curveball to go along with it. And 4 hits by the next 2 hitters of the 5 that the Reds have on the day.
Benzinger has homered and singled. Comes up empty there and goes behind 0-2. He's raised his average to 248 after starting the day at 242. Al had 21 saves a season ago. Swing and a miss. And down goes Benzinger on 3 straight.
Has had as many as 29 saves. He attained that while at Oakland in 1985. 86. He was hurt, but he still had 16 saves. 16 saves while with Oakland in 87, and an all-star pitcher. Graduated out of the University of Boulder, Colorado. The University of Colorado. Born in Miami, Florida. Lived in Oklahoma for a while. Came over in that big trade, Tommy.
Sure did.
With the Oakland Athletics.
He and Alfredo Griffin, the Dodgers shortstop. For pitchers Jack Savage. The key figure in that deal, of course, being Bob Welsh and Matt Young, who the A's are still waiting on.
Isn't that a great name, Jack Savage?
1-0 the count to Larkin. This is outside, 2-0. Yeah, Johnny, you mentioned he was one time with the Cincinnati organization, originally with Cincinnati. He's gone on to be a pretty decent closer. 2-0 pitch. 2-1.
Well, he's not real tricky. He just comes right at you. The fastball and the curveball.
Of course, he was the guy last season most celebrated, one of the most celebrated incidents in baseball history, when he was caught with that pine tar in his glove and suspended for 3 games in the National League Championship Series a year ago.
I believe that was reduced to 2. Awful rainy day. Said he needed a little more grip.
Going to be tough for Randolph, and he is out of there. Al got over in a hurry and beat Larkin to the bag.
3-4-1 is the play, and that is an outstanding fielding play by Jay Howe. Barry hit it hard right off of the glove of Eddie Murray. Here's Randolph in position, and just a perfect lead time, and boom, got him. One more look. That is timing. No question, and Lee was ready to call safe but didn't get it out.
Randolph and Howe team up for a fine play right there. Reds are down to their final out, and Eric Davis. Base hit left field.
Well, I started to say, how about back-to-backers, but now we just need a back.
Davis's first hit of the ball game. And now Paul O'Neill will have a chance.
See if they'll go with the same pattern. Peranowski came out to talk to Leary, and now Stosha's out talking to Jay. I'll see if they'll go with the fastballs upstairs. You have anywhere you need to go? You got to be anywhere?
Nowhere.
Okay, well.
Sit here right here all day long if O'Neill could hit a dinger right about now and tie this thing up. What with the off speed away, ball 1.
He's willing.
Absolutely.
Ready, willing, and
certainly able.
There was Abel right there.
There was. That's right. Abel just left town.
Abel just walked by.
Well, maybe he can get another one of those. 1 ball, 1 strike. Davis at first, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 9th. Reds trail 3-1 off the end of the bat. And Hal a strike away from putting this thing to rest.
(10-6) a final. The Astros win it. And the Cards beat the Cubs 10-7. 1-1 is the score in the bottom of the 9th. The Giants batting against the Padres.
Well, it's interesting. Hal has only allowed 1 home run to a left-handed batter in the last 124 at-bats. The one left-handed hitter to hit 1 out on him was Paul O'Neill. 1-2 pitch. It's even.
Right on time.
Well, let's hope that O'Neill's on time. That's the most important thing right now. 2-2. He was looking for that outside corner, wasn't he?
Little surveying going on right there. Tried to break that breaking ball outside over the edge, bring it in and around. It just went a little bit around. That was the pitch he threw on his first delivery. And Griff would like to get a chance to look at something different beside that split-fingered fastball. He's on deck.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Davis at first. 2 outs, top of the 9th. There goes Davis, and a foul ball.
Came back with the curveball. He is a 2-pitch pitcher, and you can get away with that because Jay will only be out there for an inning, maybe 2 at the most, and you can go with that stuff. Of course, he has one of the better curveballs, especially when you get a little pine tar on it. You can really get it to break. Jim Maloney had to get that pine tar rag and put those fingers in it. Gary Nolan would too.
3-2. Swing and a miss, and the Dodgers win. Hal comes on and fans Paul O'Neill for the final out. And the Dodgers have won for the first time in this series after being blanked the first 2 games by Jose Rijo and Tom Browning.